Basically, to get this video started, this is what we call the best case series. Now, how this works, we will be going over what we think are some of the best Pokemon games and give them a case on why they could potentially be the best Pokemon games of all time. Now, today, someone who will be making a case for Black and White is Lynn. But with that being said, he has the floor.
Hello everyone. Let me tell you a little story. When I was a little kid, I had a DS, and the first game that
What
I
are
ever
you doing? Nobody.
know what I'm doing. Let me get
I
to it.
said, I said, do the make a case why it's the best, not your childhood nostalgia.
Okay, I'm going to be talking about Black and White. What I think is some of the best narrative and region has one of the best narratives and region in all of Pokemon. Now, Black and White is a story of civil rights. The two main characters, I base basically the two main characters in yourself are two rivals. You don't see he's not an actual rival though. He doesn't treat himself as a villain. He brings you on carnival rides. He talks to you like a normal human being. He has battles with you and he doesn't hold grudges like other rivals. Some rivals, cough cough Gen 2, just hate you just because. In has a motive. In has a just a pure passion. He's not fighting you because he hates you. He's fighting you to show you to prove you a point. And that's that Pokemon have rights. Now stick with me now. Gen 5 entire plot point is that Pokemon have rights. Well, that's one. That's your rival's point. His father, though, the main villain of Gen 5, is just using it as a ploy, manipulating the people below him to do his own dirty work and try and take over the world with the legendaries that he's acquired. Now, one of the best things about N is that he sticks to his word. He doesn't catch Pokemon. Every single fight you have with N is a random assortment of Pokemon, whether it be evolved, first stage, just any random Pokemon that he just wants to bring with him, that willingly come with him. He doesn't use Pokeballs, he just lets them come in. And it's shown in his first fight as there were no Pokeballs shown. It's random Pokemon. Now, at first, you may think when you go into the game, oh, this is going to be his team, it's going to evolve. Nope, just random Pokemon. Now, enough about N, even though he is a great character with so many attributes that I love. Let's talk about the region. Unova. Unova takes a big old detour from the other four gens that were passed from it and brings us over to America. This is important. Now, you go through what seems to be the major cities in America, most themed off of Los Angeles, New York, and it's all so beautiful. The cities are interwoven. You can go through alleyways, the sewers. I don't know why you want to go through the sewers, but you can go through the sewers. Stand on, like, don't get me started. You go through playgrounds and you see schools, and that is a horrible example. And you go through the bridges to get to each and every single city. You go up skyscrapers. There's an entire gym that is a building that you travel up through that is an art gallery. It's beautiful. Along with that, you go through many small towns in America, which is built off the rural population that America has grown. As it takes inspiration from the land. A lot of America is just small towns and general little, cities that haven't fully grown. And while you go through those, then you enter into the big, gigantic, bustling cities with people walking around, speaking to each other. You can pick up trash, which turns into leftovers. Leftovers is one of the items that you get in the game just from going through the trash can because it's a apple core. I think the small details like that are just really nice. And did I mention that there's a city on a bridge that is full, that its entire culture is music. Also, the culture. You can feel the culture bleed out of this game. The lights, the cities, the carnivals that you go on, the people that you talk to, everything. Even the characters just running off to chase their dreams in the big American world only to be crushed into disappointment. That we'll get to that later about the characters. But this world is just so beautiful and woven just so nicely. Everything is put together so well. And did I mention there is a city on a bridge? That entire thing is music. They're one big band. I'll stop. I'm sorry. Now for the characters. Of course, the main character isn't much. The main character in a Pokemon game is you. You are trainer, boy or girl. But in this game, you have two rivals. Bianca, who is a bright-eyed girl who just wants to chase her dream of becoming a trainer. There's an optional point in the game, in the beginning of the game, where Janzi wants you to walk into the gym. And he tells you, hey, go get her. You can go into her house and you can speak to her as she screams at her parents, I want to go off. I want to go see the world. I want to be a trainer. And her dad tries to stop her. After this, you can immediately just walk out and go to...
What is hitting your mic?
There's something hitting my mic.
Yes.
Hold on.
A constant rate.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Sorry. Dang. I didn't notice. Where was I? Bianca? And you can just her house, but if you don't, you can go up to her parents who express their disappointment, and she isn't the world. And at first you may think, oh, they're just assholes. They just don't want their daughter to go out. They don't want her to chase her dreams. But near the end of the game, she comes up to you and she realizes that this isn't for her. And she leaves to go pursue a different passion. She's just not good enough. And you feel this after every single battle that you have with her if you continuously win, as her dreams slowly become more and more crushed. That is one of the deepest a rival has ever been. Before that, you had Mafia Kid, Professor's son, and really annoying person that we're not going to talk about. Well, two Professor Kids. This is one of the deepest that a rival has ever been. In the following games, they don't show us, but only as gym leaders and a side character, and we get to Hugh. But again, this isn't about the second game. Now for the biggest topic that people hate Gen 5 for, or just don't like it, the regional decks. The reason why I think it's a regional decks and not this big, expansive decks with every single Pokemon, we're not overseas. Well, we are, but completely on the entire other side of the world. So what did they do? They made a completely different Pokédex. They made a Pokédex of Pokemon that are supposed to live in these rural towns and these big cities, that are supposed to, that have adapted to it. Now this is a horrible example, but there's a trash Pokemon. We all know who I'm talking about. You can put him on screen. He's trash. And where do you mostly find him? Sewers, alleyways, hobos that fight you in the street. Welcome to that's the number one New York experience, by the way. A hobo trying to fight you. So detailed, so intricate. This Pokédex is meant for America. These animals are meant for America. It is an entirely different region across seas that aren't in the islands. And I think it's fitting to have such a different Pokédex. But a good bit of them are amazing designs. Hydranko, Gigalith, Woobat. I really like Woobat. Zebstrika. There are some really stand-out Pokemon. Now, while are there bad ones? Yes, there's the monkeys. There's the monkey trio. But are there other ones that just stand out? Yes, I think Gen 5 has one of the nicer starters, even though a lot of people don't like the pig. Tepig, people really don't like Tepig.
Trash.
And now, another big thing about Gen 5 is just the feel. A big thing about Pokemon games is the vibe that you get in the journey that you have to come along through to get to the final destination, to become champion of your region. And in Black and White, you do not achieve this. You don't. You don't achieve this. You fight through the Elite Four, and then as soon as you're going to step into to fight the champion, Team Plasma comes through and just destroys everything. And you have to go stop them. And after you do stop them, the game just kind of ends. Now, of course, you can continue this in the post game where you then find, the rest of, the Pokédex, just post game stuff, right? But during the end, you just kind of save the day. And instead of going back and becoming champion, it just kind of ends. You go home, you end up with your mom, you talk to your friends, and you just console with N as N realizes his mistakes. And at first, you might feel disappointed, as this is off the norm from every single Pokemon game. You're supposed to stop them, and then you're supposed to stop the team, and then go fight the champion and become champion. That doesn't happen here. The Team Plasma is woven into the story until the champion fight. Team Plasma isn't stopped until you have to stop them at the champion fight. You didn't do your job before, so now you have to do it at the end. And I think that is one of the most unique ways Pokemon has ended off. Biggest things in Pokemon, the gym leaders. I think one of the most unique fights is in Pokemon Black and White. And that's one of the first gyms you come across, where you fight 3 gym leaders at once. A rotation that are supposed to be the monkeys. Now, while I don't like the monkeys, I think they're extremely just ugly, and that Pokemon tried to push them way too much in these games. This gym is a rotational battle between all 3 of these people, and it goes back to back to back. And I think it's one of the many unique gyms in this game. The bug gym is one of my favorite. The bug gym in this game is one of my favorites of all time, where you scour through an art gallery, fighting through different paintings, people coming out, just a woven piece of colors and swirls everywhere until you climb to the top and finally get to them. And it's built into the world just so well. And if you ask locals throughout the game, they'll talk to you about the gym leaders. There are signs detailing the significance. Every gym leader also has a job. It's weird. They aren't just gym leaders, they're people in their communities that also do things. Cheryl in the first game in the second game, after, I know this is the second game, but he's the rival in the first game. He talks about how he's just grown so much as a person, how this is what he wants to chase in life, and how he's trying to do more for his community. It builds a sense of realism? A game about monsters running around and people taming them, trying to be realistic, or just... It's great world building, was what I'm trying to say. And it's some of the best world building that we've had in Pokemon in a while. And I think to that point, aside from Gen 3.
With that, being said, hopefully he has made his case. Now, the next video we are going to do is on Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Wonder who
But
got
with that,
eliminated by.
but with that being said, thanks for watching and yeah, goodbye.